41 Action News reporter Kat Reed and Nick. Kat Reed live at Sunrise Point. Let's start with her.
Krista, as you can see, the school's playground is still blocked off. It's been this way since 9 a.m. The district tells us that workers were here installing artificial turf on the playground when there was some sort of argument, and then those shots rang out. And the Overland Park Police Department says the suspect shot 2 male coworkers, leaving one in critical condition. Another later died at the hospital. The Blue Valley School District says no children were here when it happened, but there were some custodial staff inside the building. Now, I spoke with one neighbor whose kids were home alone at the time. She later brought water to the officers who kept them safe.
These guys kept them safe. They kept them safe, so I just wanted to make sure they, had a cold drink. They were probably tired and thirsty.
The district put other schools under secured entry while the suspect was on the loose, meaning students and staff stayed inside. And as Krista mentioned, this is just one of 4 crime scenes police were investigating today. From here, the suspect took off and attempted a carjacking, and we'll have some more information on that coming from Nick Starling. Live in Overland Park, Kat Reed, 41 Action News.
All right, thank you, Kat. The suspect then, as we talked about, that black Denali, took it back to the owner's home at 160th and Rosewood. That's where we find Nick Starling to give us the update from that location. Nick.
Well, Krista, this is the last place the suspect stopped here at 160th and Rosewood. You can still see that black Denali there right in the victim's driveway. It's still parked and it's been there for multiple hours. Now, police caught the suspect around noon today in the victim's neighbor backyard. Sky Tracker was overhead when he was taken into custody. Overland Park police say after talking with the owner of the black SUV, they took him to his house. Once there, he noticed his dog outside and alerted police that someone must be inside. Now, as we mentioned, police eventually caught the suspect without a problem. No injuries to police, the victim, or the suspect. But for a woman and her 3 kids living next door, it was a frightful couple of hours as they hid in their basements until this was all over.
Really glad that he's okay. I can't believe that something like that happened in this area, in this neighborhood. And I mean, the kids were terrified. It's a really scary situation. So I'm just glad that they're okay and they weren't home.
What do you know?
Overland Park police don't know exactly how the suspect knew where the victim's house was, but could have been on an OnStar system or the vehicle's registration. Overland Park police say this is probably one of the weirdest cases they have been on. Of course, we're trying to identify the suspect as well. As we get more information, we'll pass it along to you as well. Reporting live in Overland Park, Nick Starling, 41 Action News.
All right, Nick, we do know he's a 32-year-old man. We do have his name, but as is usually the case, we don't release that until there are charges filed with the police department. We also learned that somebody from the White House, as well as someone from the Kansas governor's office, called the city of Overland Park. They offered help. The city said at this time they appreciate it, but it's not needed. We'll continue to follow this story closely. We'll bring you any updates as they happen on the air and online. We'll have much more coming up at 5 and 6 as well.